Hey guys, welcome back to this week's comic book review. We left you guys off with Superboy number 4, and we were talking about Psionic Lad. I don't know. I'm going to call him Psionic Lad. You guys come up with your own pronunciation of his name. So basically, people from the, what was the city called again? The Acropolis PD are trying to stop him because he did an illegal time travel, and he traveled into Superboy's time. They see Simon, though, which is Superboy's friend, and they go running for the hills, and we don't know why. So then Psionic Lad shows Simon and Superboy later on that he's from an apocalyptic future, and he needs Superboy's help to train him. He wants to be Superboy's apprentice so that he can go back to his time and save his people and free them. Superboy says, why don't you let me get the Teen Titans in JLA and we can go back in time, we can go forward in time now and help you. He's like, no, we have to do this ourselves. Can you help me? Superboy says yes. He's like, I can never repay you. And Simon actually says, well, actually you can. And they go to Mr. Gillum? It's Gillum, yeah. And they actually go into, they have Psionic Lad go into his mind, because Psionic Lad's powers is telepathy. He's psychic. And he goes into the Gilman's mind, and you get to see he sees flashes of the people that we saw that are probably part of the silo, and they abduct him, and that's when you see them hook him up to the machine, which then leads them into the present. And Ma Kent offers Psionic Lad a place to live for a while, and he of course accepts, and Superboy agrees. And then there's a moment towards the end of this book where Superboy is talking to Lori Luther, and Lori Luther's like, I thought we had something going on, and Superboy's like, I just broke up with, she mentions about Wonder Girl and Superboy. This ties into, this obviously takes place after Teen Titans, because Superboy mentions that him and Cassie have separated. They've gone different ways because, well, we all know from Teen Titans, because Superboy wants to be normal, etc., etc. He's like, we can be friends for now. And he leaves it kind of at that, and I don't think Lori's too happy about that, but basically that's where it's left off. Will she be the villain of the future? We'll never know. Great artwork, great story. I have to admit one thing though, I am looking forward to Superboy 5, because Superboy versus Kid Flash, first time ever in DC Comics history. It'll be Superboy versus Kid Flash in a fundraiser race. It's going to be cool to see who comes out the winner of that, because one race Superman came out on top, another race Flash came out on top, so looking forward to see what happens between Superboy and Kid Flash. The Superboy, by the way, is one of the strong, very strong writers, very strong stories out of all the Superman titles, in my opinion. Speaking of Superman, the year 2011, Superman 80-page giant is here. Beginning of every year, they do an 80-page giant. And since Superman was away last year and is away this year, yeah, none of the stories really involve Superman directly. Superman guest stars in a few of the stories, but he's not in really any of the stories. First story is about Jor-El. The second story is about Perry White and Wildcat. Third story is about, I believe, Jimmy Olsen. Fourth story is Bizarro. Fifth story is Supergirl. And the final story, which was my favorite out of the entire book, was the Superboy story, with artwork from the guy who did Superboy in Action Comics, the first 5, I believe, issues, and his name is Eddie Barros. Really love his artwork. I hope at some point he actually goes into the Superboy comic and does some artwork, because he does really, really awesome artwork. Yeah. As far as artwork from the other stories, the Jor-El story had really good artwork. The Wildcat Perry White story stunk. The Jimmy Olsen artwork was good. The Bizarro, let me put it this way. Look how small Bizarro's head is compared to his body. Yeah, not good. Not really good artwork. But then again, it's a Bizarro story, so you can expect weird artwork there. The Supergirl story, it was good actually. No, the Supergirl story has good artwork. And once again, we go back to Superboy, which was really good artwork also. The stories are good. Now, is it worth your $5.99? If you are a die-hard Superman fan, then yeah, it was really worth it. If you're buying this to see Superman, though, he's only a guest star in a few of the stories. He's not really the main attraction, because Superman's still away. Just like in Vanishing Point, on the blackboard it said, "Where is Superman?" That is a very good question, and hopefully DC Comics will fix that one fuck-up they have with Superman and bring him back to his titles again, and maybe give him a title or two more. We'll see. That I doubt that one, but I hope that either through Booster Gold or Flashpoint, Superman goes back to Metropolis and we get some good old stories again. I actually had a comment on 2 reviews back from a guy called Lone Wolf saying this is the age of anti-heroes, and all heroes like Superman and Spider-Man that stand for truth and justice and don't believe and don't kill no matter what. They're kind of being pushed out because right now we're in the time of the anti-hero where people like the badass, do whatever it takes kind of superhero, and I kind of disagree with that.
I do too.
I disagree with that a lot. But I don't want to get too much into this because I have a new series I'm starting up, and this is actually going to be the topic of the first episode, so I don't want to get too into this. I just would like to voice my opinion here because I know a lot of people watch my reviews that no, this is not the age of the anti-hero. Yeah, I buy some books like Dark Wolverine, like Spawn, where the heroes are, they'll do whatever it takes. Spawn especially, he'll kill anyone. Dark Wolverine, Daken has a very dark past. He's a killer. Daken's a killer, and he'll manipulate, and he'll screw with people's minds, and he'll screw people out of things just so that he can come out on top. But that's not what comic books are. Comic books are about superheroes. Superman stands for all the things that superheroes should stand for. Superboy stands for that. His comics are doing great. Let's see. Aquaman, these times is stupid. Let's see. Spider-Man stands for that. Well, this guy doesn't like Spider-Man, but Spider-Man's doing pretty okay now with the writing. It's all about the writing. If the writing is good, if you get a good writer who knows how to tell a good story, no, they're not outdated. Superman is not outdated not even by a little bit. The problem is shoddy writers. You get good writers, and you get stories that are classic stories, like in Metropolis. This whole walking around the earth thing that Straczynski started is stupid. It was a dumb storyline which tanked from day one. Now that these new writers took over, they're saying it's going up. But in my personal opinion, no, it's not going to go up until Superman goes back to Metropolis and it's back to the way things were with the classic villains, just like I want X-Men. X-Men isn't good right now because it's not X-Men. They're not in New York. They're not fighting the classic villains. They're fighting to be right now popular. They're fighting to be so the world isn't against them anymore. That's not what it was. The human race was always against the mutants. X-Men were trying to show the human race that they're good by fighting evil mutants like Apocalypse, like Magneto. Magneto's a good guy now. Okay, I can live with Magneto being a good guy. There's a ton of other bad guys out there. There's Mojo, there's Apocalypse, there's Mr. Sinister, there's Mrs. Sinister, for crying out loud. Give us something, give us something classic. You're doing all this new stuff. The reason that they're saying this is the age of the anti-heroes is because they're feeding the younger generations who like this violence and killing, and they're leaving out the people like me, like Mike, like Joe and Amber, who grew up with this stuff when we were kids. The older generation's being pushed out for the older generation's mindset and way of reading the stories are being pushed out because the writers and the artists are trying to appeal to the younger, more violent and drawn out.
It's also kind of a way of life, though.
Yeah, movies, games.
If you are reading about violence and everything, there's a lot more violence now in the younger generations than there was in the past.
And on TV and video games. That's what they're pushing.
So it's a way of life.
Yeah, and people like Superman stood against all that. So is Superman outdated? Should he be put out to...
No.
I don't... Exactly. Superman is not outdated, and this guy said they should kill off all of the heroes and bring them back when the Age of Heroes is back. No. Excuse me. It's not... it's high past their time. It's high time they got pushed out. No. No, it is not time. Look, you don't like Spider-Man, that's your personal problem. I understand. Look, I'm on and off with Spider-Man. I won't defend Spider-Man. I won't, because I'm on and off again with him. Superman I'll defend to the end of my days, okay? Superman stands for everything any superhero should stand for. And I swear, you could look at the comments. I kept going until I put my point
I'll tell you one thing,
no.
two things I want to say. First of all, I do agree with one thing. Not agree, but there are many more anti-heroes today as opposed to like
Venom,
10 years ago.
Venom, Carnage, Dark Wolverine, the list goes on and on. I get some of these comics. Spawn.
You just got one superhero that has around 8 or 9 comics out. Very popular. Batman. They're not pushing it. If they're pushing out superheroes, why are they making so many Batman comics? So obviously they're not pushing out superheroes.
Look, I understand comics are getting darker. Look, you gotta go... unfortunately, we can't stay in the bright past of the 90s.
But Batman is not no anti-hero.
No, he isn't. Comics in the 90s were the best. I pray that
100%
one day
agree.
those ages will come back. I pray. Those were bright. Those were comics
I
were
remember
bright. And
when I
you
was
know what? But look,
collecting.
no, Superman's not ready to be put out yet. And no, it's not high time that they push them to let them go. No.
Another
Not at all.
superhero, Captain America, he's doing pretty well for this comic book. You don't collect it, but he's another superhero, not an anti-hero.
No, so it's not. It's
They're not
not. They're not. They're
being
not
phased out.
outdone. They're not overused. They're not outdone. Good writing. 2 words that make a world of difference. Good writing. You get good writing. You get good stories. It hasn't all been told yet. Trust me, Superman has infinite possibilities. You get a good story, and that's when it starts to sell, and when people start to actually like Superman, like Superboy. Good writing. Good writing. The only difference is there's a 3-letter word, and it's boy instead of man.
But superheroes are not getting phased out. Batman is proof of that with DC.
Sorry, anti-heroes may be a fad, but fads come and go. Heroes are here to stay. Sorry, Superman's been around now for over 70 years almost. No, he ain't going nowhere. And it's not past their prime, past their thing anyway. And speaking of Superman, I'd like to get into this 2 seconds. You had something to say?
Yeah.
What?
Didn't Superman first come out not as a comic book, but as a comic strip in the
No,
newspapers?
he came out in action.
No, he was in newspapers
Yeah,
before
yeah.
he became comics. He was as a comic strip rather
He was in it. He had a comic. Yeah, I have the books. I have the books with the comic strip.
No,
Yeah.
in newspapers.
You know, I know. I have the reprints in a book from the newspapers. Yeah, they actually made books of the reprints. If you guys are interested, I'll show you guys those books. Send me a message. I'll find those books and I'll show you guys. It has all the clippings from the newspaper all the way till they took it out of the news. I have the books. It's about 4 books. Anyway, movie industry. Speaking of Superman, who everybody thinks, it's been announced who will be the next Superman, and I love the picture they use. We'll get into that in a minute. Henry Cavill. He is a British actor, an English actor. There was an article actually in the Daily News. It's all over. I mean, you can't miss it. It was on CBR.com. Every newspaper should be doing it. I love how they took the Photoshop though. This is don't make the mistake. They're not using the Brendan Roth costume. They actually took the Brendan Roth picture and photoshopped a picture of Henry Cavill's head on it. Believe me, his head isn't that big. I doubt his head is that big. My thoughts on this are, look, Batman did amazing. You get a good actor who looks the part, you get a good suit, and you get a good story, you get a good movie. Joe, you said you're not looking forward to it much.
It's not that I'm looking forward to it much. It's that, you know, like reading that article, it tells you how the other Superman, which we all know returns, how it tanked. And
oh, it tanked bad. And everybody said it was going to be
it's
great.
just me. This is just my personal preference. I look up to Christopher Reeves, and like ever since, may he rest in peace, God bless his soul. Yeah, he passed away. Since he was like the Superman that epitomizes the era of Superman.
Yes.
And
but it can't be over.
No,
He
I
just
know that.
God rest his soul.
No.
Christopher Reeves passed
But
away.
think of the actors after him.
It's not over. It's just nobody can look up to Christopher Reeves. They really can't. I mean, you can look up to him, but you can't stand up next to him.
Yeah.
Mind you, after the accident, he couldn't actually stand up. But the fact is, he was the best Superman so far. And unless somebody can be better than Christopher Reeves as Superman,
Nobody
you
can.
can't change it.
I don't
No.
expect anybody to be better than
Look,
Christopher.
Dean Cain did a good adaptation on TV.
True,
Lois and
very
Clark,
true.
New Adventures of Superman. Tom Welling was doing good. Now Smallville, I hear this season has been terrible so far. I watched 1 episode. I haven't watched all season. This week's was the first episode. It was kind of a rip-off of The Matrix, but I'll get into that when Smallville comes to a conclusion. I'll give a video on how I feel Smallville went from season 1 to 10. That's
I
distant
think Tom
future.
Welling would make a great
Tom
Superman.
Welling would have made a good
He
Superman.
would've.
He doesn't want to.
I know.
He doesn't want to be classified. So we need
Unfortunately.
unknown actors.
We don't know. Hit or miss.
That's like, I'm sorry, but I gotta reference this. That's like them bringing somebody that we had never heard of, Andrew Garfield, I believe it was, for
Yes,
Spider-Man.
Yeah.
but that was a terrible pick.
No, but I'm saying, even that, we didn't know who it was. It was somebody that I knew, like,
But
from
we
watching
didn't
other...
know.
No, somebody else. The running for Spider-Man, there was somebody else that I had actually known of. Josh Hutcherson, I believe his name was, who was being run as Spider-Man until it changed.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no. I knew of him. I'd seen him in lots of other movies. Then they pull somebody that I don't even know.
They love doing unknowns because unknowns have that empty blank history. So if they do good on that movie, like if he does good on this movie, Henry Cavill, they'll use him for the rest of his
It's a
career
chance
as
they're
Superman.
taking.
Yeah.
It's a chance.
Christopher Reeves was he was Superman. He did 4 Superman movies. Ask people other than me, because I was a huge Christopher Reeve. I looked up, and he was my hero, literal, real life hero. I know all of them. I know all the movies he did, aside from Superman. But you ask somebody who watches only comic movies, you say, okay, what other movies were Christopher Reeves in? And they'll be like, Superman 1 through 4.
I don't even know.
And that's it.
She made a couple others, but I don't really remember.
See, that's my point.
Like,
you know him as Superman because he was an unknown, and he went in on it.
But still, I gotta mention, you could mention lots of movies that he was in, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's like me, I'm sorry, I gotta reference this. Kristen Stewart. When it comes to her acting, I can name quite a few movies she was in.
Right.
Everybody else just says Twilight.
Exactly, but they get those unknown, like this guy, I hope the movie's good because I love Superman, but if he's not good, he'll move on to another movie. Brendan Roth, he's gone. He was in one other movie, my evil ex-boyfriends or whatever, and he stunk in that movie too. He stunk in Superman and he stunk in that movie.
It's a chance to have to take.
Yes. My super ex-girlfriend.
No. That my super ex-girlfriend was another movie. This is my ex is something like that. He was a super ex-boyfriend to this girl. Anyway, beside the point, it was terrible. Okay. It was a terrible movie. But you know, when you're classified as one thing, like Tom Welling did 2 other movies. The Fog, the remake of The Fog, tanked. It was a 2-star movie, and I'm being gracious there. And Cheaper by the Dozen 1 and 2. Now, yeah, Cheaper by the Dozen 1 and 2 were popular with the kids, the younger generation, but with the people my age, but with the people my age, okay, so it wasn't even starring Tom Welling. He played a very in the first movie he was a tiny part. In the second movie he had a bigger part. Second movie he had a huger part.
I'm sorry, but I don't even know who he is. I've seen.
He was the older brother, the oldest brother.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was the oldest one.
Okay.
Yeah. He was in a very small part in the first movie. The second movie, he played a huger part with the relationship going on between the 2 families. But nobody's when Smallville goes off the air, you won't even know.
I'll tell you
Tom
one thing
though.
Smallville's a perfect example. It's also not just the actor, in my opinion, but it's also the writing of the movie.
Yeah.
The acting could be great, but if it's a bad story,
well, it's going to be a reboot. They said this Superman is going to be a reboot, or it's going to take place like Superman's already on Earth. He's already become Superman. It's just a continuation of Superman, not going from the Reeves era, not following Superman Returns. His own, because Superman Returns has its own little entity.
No, please. Keep that away.
It's staying over there. We're putting it. It's like we're taking Superman Returns and we're putting him in the corner, and we're taking Superman 1 through 4 and sitting him down in the classroom. But Superman Returns sits in the corner because first of all, Superman having a kid. Yeah, Superman does not have a kid, so that the whole movie was faulty, and a whole remake of the first Superman movie with all the stupid lines they copied. All the lines from Superman 1 and rehashed it in Superman Returns. So Superman Returns, as far as I'm concerned, does not exist in the Superman movie universe. That's something that is a what if, all the way, it's sitting in the corner of the room. Definitely. We don't care about that.
I do have to say, I wish Superman did have a kid. It would be good.
It would be good, but it doesn't take place in the present. That's the future. That's like future.
But I'm saying I wish he would.
Yeah, if you do a future movie, that's fine. But if he's sticking in the present, which is what the movies are supposed to do, he doesn't. So the whole point with Superman having a kid and going away for 4 years, bullshit. No. Take this and its stupid, crappy costume and you put it in the corner where it belongs. You sit it in timeout with a big dunce cap on its head for the rest of its life, and you get into new basics with Superman. I like how they're going to go off and they're trying new actor, new story, praying to God, better costume, and yellow S on the cape, please. I don't want to hear the bullshit CGI can't put a yellow S on a cape. Yes, it can, because they did that for Christopher Reeves. You can do it. Anybody can. A 2-bit hack can put a yellow S on a cape. You can hack the movie and edit it in yourself probably on a DVD. So don't tell me you can't put a yellow S on the cape. Yes, you can. And don't bullshit me with Kryptonian suit technology bullshit that other guy, Bryan Singer, tried to push on everyone. Bullshit. Do not follow Bryan Singer or those 2 writers who basically took Superman 1 and rewrote it in the future.
This is what I'm trying to say though. The
do
writers.
Your own thing. Yeah, it's all the writers. Just do a story.
This movie needs good writers.
Yeah.
It has a good writer. The Batman movie writer.
Good.
So
that's great.
Please, if you're watching this or if you want to hear any opinion, good movie. Do it like Batman, because Batman was good.
Awesome.
I'm looking forward to the new Batman movie, as a matter of fact. Right now, Batman's the only good movie DC has released.
Definitely.
Okay, so let's review everything here. The Superman movie, I will be keeping you guys up to date. As far as the anti-hero versus hero age, Stay tuned. There's a new series I will be starting up on Dark Avenger with my brother Mike. We will be discussing that, but no, it's not high past their time to go out the pasture. Heroes like Superman are still #1, and that's what comic books are about, my friend. If you think comic books are all about anti-heroes, it's just a fad, and it will die what? Oh, I thought you were tapping because you wanted to say something.
No.
Anti-heroes will fade away, and these heroes will always be here to stay. And that rhyme that I didn't even know it. Okay, Superman 80-page giant 2011. If you like those side stories with all the side characters, check it out. Really good artwork. Love Superboy. Superboy #4 still produces awesomely. Can't wait for Superboy 5. DC Online Legends #1. Promoting the game. It's inspired by the game. You know they're just promoting the game.
Why is she in the old costumes?
Don't know. But I'll keep you guys up to date. I don't know. I might keep it, might drop it. We'll see in the future. Thank God. Brightest Day 19. Only 5 more issues to go. This... Yeah, exactly. Time Masters Vanishing Point 6 of 6 leaves you with more questions than answers, all leading into Flashpoint. It somehow has something to do with Bruce Wayne, I'm guessing. The Amazing Spider-Man 653. Check it out. Awesome. Good writing. Dan Slott is definitely bringing back Spider-Man. Finally. Dak and Dark Wolverine 5. Good. Really, really good. One of the 2 books I kept as far as the Wolverine releases. The Invincible Iron Man 500.1. Really, if you're looking for a little extra, little foreshadow for the future, check it out. If not, not needed. Sneak Peeks is free. Check it out at your comic book store. IDW Infestation Transformers #1. Loving it. Check it out. Love the artwork. Love Transformers. Driver for the Dead 3 of 3. Awesome series. Definitely check it out. City of Dust once again 3 of 5 stars. Shrapnel, the double so far. The 2 books, 5 out of 5. Awesome. Looking forward to the trilogy, the 3rd and final, or 3rd book at least. And once again, got Spawn 100. Really good story in that. If you guys would like me to review any of the Spawn books I've actually received already, just send me which numbers you'd like me to review that I already showed on my review. Amber, you have 2 Runaway books.
Runaways 3 and 4. I am looking for the others. Big hint there. Anyway, I would definitely say get them. Try to get them in order. It's the best advice I can say.
And finally, if you guys like the shirt I'm wearing or the hat that Michael is wearing, thank you again, Radical Comic. Go check out radicalpublishing.com. They have a store where you can pick all this stuff up for a really, really good price. A really good price.
And of
worth the money.
course, I've got to say
Good deals.
this again.
And of course she does.
Peace and chicken grease, guys.
Next week, a lot of comics. New comic coming. Hint there, new comic is coming next week. So, yes.
Which comic?
I will tell you when this video is over because I'm not spoiling it for everybody else.
Okay. Alright, so
And a big, I'm praying it comes next week, a big dent is coming in my Spawn collection.
Hopefully.
See you guys soon.
Later.